Our first round is all about sporting history. Competitors in the ancient Greek Olympics competed completely naked, so when the sprinters bent down at the start of the race, the cyclists had somewhere to park their bikes. Art was once an event at the Olympics. Partly, it was an attempt to fuse the aesthetic with the physical in order to create a well-rounded, ideal Olympian, but mainly, it was so there was something for the fat kids to do. Right, time for our first set of questions. OK, so it's sports history here. For the first question, it's over to professional brain box, Stephen Fry.
Hello there, Jimmy Carr, young onion. How are you? This is Stephen with a question for you. I've always been very interested in the original Olympics. And, you know, they had a sport which was a cross between wrestling and boxing called pancration. All the strengths, that means. And basically anything went. And it was a bit like the big fat quiz of sport, in as much as you knew the winner because everyone else basically gave up or was rendered unconscious. And so I want to know what two moves were actually illegal in pancration. There were two you couldn't do, two things you couldn't do. So see if you can name them.
So, pancration, the ancient sort of mix between wrestling and boxing, what couldn't you do? I think you can work this out. They're pretty obvious things you won't be able to do. Yes, Kerry has a question.
So were they naked?
Yeah, they were nude.
They were all naked all the time. Must have been an absolute nightmare during the relay.
So, you can have a point for both fouls, but what two things were fouls in pancration?
Fingering.
Question number 2. Basketball was invented in 1891 as a way of keeping students active indoors. But what innovation to the game did it take them 21 years to come up with? So basketball was created in 1891. It took them 21 years to come up with something that seems pretty obvious to me. What did it take them 21 years to come up with? All right, question number 3 in this first round. At the Seoul 88 Olympics, Ben Johnson won the 100-metre final in world record time, but the race was later described as the dirtiest race in history. Why? All right, question number 4 in this round. The Tour de France has been running for over 120 years. What was it common practice to do until it was outlawed in 1965? So what could you do in the Tour de France until 1965?
For ourselves. We're just going to have fun ourselves.
Good.
It might be good.
No, it was really funny, but she said it in French and it doesn't really translate that great, so sorry, everyone.
Can we get extra time?
Like a dyslexic in an exam? Yeah, sure. Sure. You can be on Channel 4 +1. Question number 5. Last question in this round. In 1973, Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs played out the iconic Battle of the Sexes tennis match. Before the match started, they gave each other insulting gifts. What were they?
Were they wishing each other luck or wishing they not
No,
luck?
they were not wishing it. There was no love lost in the match. Basically, Riggs said female tennis players are useless, and he said, I will beat you, and they played a match. What are you eating, Judy? What are you having?
Hula hoops.
You're having hula hoops? To represent the Olympic rings? Lovely, very sporty. All right, time for some answers? Come on. Put in all your answers, Joel.
Put in all your answers.
Get the questions done. Finish up quickly. End of round 1.
Catchy. Question number 1. Stephen Fry wanted to know what were the 2 recognised fouls in pancration?
Oh, my God, that was Stephen Fry.
If anyone is gambling on this as to who's going to win, if your money's on Judy, you're going to get odds on that. All right, so what do you think the fouls were? Roisin, Dane?
No biting.
No biting.
No gouging.
No biting, no
and
gouging.
no whispering sweet nothings.
You've given 3 answers there, and the first 2 are absolutely right.
And the third one was sort of generally agreed upon.
Yeah, I think
People
that
said it was out of order.
It's an unwritten rule.
It's not illegal, but it's like...
frowned upon.
It's frowned upon. It's like with a steel chair in WWE.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do it, but if it happens, everyone's like, you've got a fight going.
Tom, Kerry, did you get this?
No, we were fixated on the nudity part of it, actually, Jimmy. What did you say?
Rubbing your bum
You can't...
hole up against someone. Like...
That weirdly comes up in a question later on. Stay tuned.
And we said pew pulling as well, because that would be so painful, wouldn't it? To be pulled by
Just
the
when
top.
you're in that position and then, ooh.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't bear thinking about.
Pew pulling. Okay, no,
pulling.
it was biting and gouging. They got it exactly. Judy, Joel, did you get this?
We went for gouging and fingering.
Kind of the same thing.
Kind
I
of
give
the
you
same
get
thing.
1 point for that. You get 2 points because you got both.
Yeah.
You get no points. Okay, next one. All right. I asked you what innovation took 21 years to be introduced into basketball. What did you think? Tom, Kerry, did you get this?
We said that organ they play. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
That's baseball.
What are we talking about?
Basketball.
Oh, I don't know. Do I look American?
There's putting a lid on it, putting a lid on the net, like making it have a hole in it. Because before, it used to be a bucket, and then they were like, if we put a hole in it, it'll come through and someone hasn't got to climb up and get it.
That is the right answer. Judy, Joel, what did you get?
We put with a hoop.
Yeah.
And I said hoop, like Judy's crisps, which I just realised doesn't have an H in it.
Crisps.
I spelled crisp, C-H-R-I-S-P-S.
Roisin, Dane, what did you put?
We said it took them 25 years to desegregate it.
And discover white people can't jump.
Well, take a look at this. It's incredible. OK, so here's some kids playing. Yeah, that's how they used to play. And this guy came along.
Wow.
Whoa, there you go. So if you forgot the stick, it was just one love, all going home. OK, incredibly, basketball took them 21 years to discover the net. All right, I asked you why the 100-metre final at the Seoul 88 Olympics became known as the dirtiest race in history. What did you all put? Judy, Joel, did you get this?
Yeah.
Judy got this, but she leant over to me and whispered, drugs, and I thought she was offering them to me. But it turns out it's the answer.
Right. Right, did you get this?
That they shat themselves.
That's coming up later as well. Stay tuned.
Loads of, because I've been Googling sport, people shit themselves all the time.
True.
It's a thing.
Really?
It's
What?
true.
Is it adrenaline? Is it... What is it?
Well, they can't go off to the loo, can they? So they just have to shit and go.
I don't think it happens in ice skating.
No, that's true.
That would be awful, wouldn't it? Imagine
But
if
it's a
Torval
lot
and
of
Dean
it.
had done that.
On the spin, do you
On the-
imagine?
on the spin.
Did you get this, Dane? Roisin?
We thought we did. We thought it was a dirty race because there was no toilet paper available, which I think bounces quite nicely off of Kerry's theory.
Well, Judy and Joel get the point. It was because Ben Johnson tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs, and of the 8 runners in that 100-metre final, only 2 were never linked to drug use. Wow. So that means if I'd been in that, I would have got bronze.
There you go, exactly.
Imagine those 2 who didn't use the drugs, how boring they'd be at the back as
They did,
well.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're fine. The rest of the race, like, woo!
Guys, I think you're all getting wrong the kind of drugs they're using. You know, I'm just here to take the comedy out of this show.
So they're not doing like an E.
No, they're not.
No.
It'd be quite fun, though, to imagine the Olympics with everyone doing the wrong drugs.
Yeah.
Just
would
like
watch-
weightlifting. Just like, oh, no, we've all done ketamine. Whoa!
They're all on coke talking about their career.
Everyone in the 100 metres talking about the podcast they're going to make. Hello, I'm Jimmy Carr. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. Now, there's a scientific theory that states you laugh 30 times more when you're in a room with other people than when you're watching something on a screen. So why not come and see me live? It's jimmycarr.com for tickets, and I'm pretty much everywhere. See you then.